What is up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Pushing Buttons. This is episode 35. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 35. Oh, yeah. 35. We are on episode 35. I am one half of the Bromance B, and I am joined by my lovely co-hosts today. To my left, I have the very popular melanin glowing, microphone toting, skin glowing, the second most beautiful man on planet Earth, right after my dad, Keith.
What's going on?
And then all the way to the end of this couch. She's actually on the couch this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the very popular, very Instagrammable, Misagi her damn self, Claudia.
What's going on?
And yeah. Before we go around the room and see how everybody is doing, I do want to say that we are on all streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and we are on Anchor for your ass. And we're on YouTube, so go subscribe. I see it moving up slowly, ever so slowly, but it's moving. So go subscribe. It'll help us out a lot. Go leave a comment. I think you can leave comments on the Apple one, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I
Yeah.
think so.
You can leave like comments and reviews and stuff. Like if it's a 5-star, leave a 5-star on there. Hook us up. Yeah, just go listen to wherever you listen to it. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. It was lovely. It was a good time. The last episode, I had a really good time. Thanks Tots and thanks CJ. It was a really good time. So we are gonna go around the room and see how everybody is doing, and we'll start off with Keith. Man, Keith, how you be?
I'm all right. It's another week. It's fine. I'm doing good. It's all right.
It's all right. It's okay. All right. All the buzzwords, cool. Claudia, how you be?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Much better than last week. I got my second dose of my COVID shot.
Today?
No.
Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, yes.
How you feeling?
Great. I was one of the few people in the office who didn't get knocked out, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you were COVID-y before then.
Probably, and I don't know.
You were COVID-y before then.
But
Wow.
the only thing I did get was the chills, but that lasted for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I honestly was okay in the morning.
Nice.
And yeah, and I did my taxes, just a bunch of adult stuff.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Tax season.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
You're funny.
Keith, bro, I meant to ask you, bro, are you going to take the vaccine?
Sure. My job hasn't really asked.
They haven't offered.
No one. I can they put it like in a break room or something. But like if you don't go up to them, like no manager, no store director or anything came up to me and asked me about it. So.
Oh man, we gotta talk about it then. If you want it, we gotta talk about it off the podcast. I didn't know you wanted it. I thought you already had it.
No, they haven't. I can get it if I just go to it, but I'm not in a rush to get it.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, Trumpy.
Why is it Trumpy?
Ask him. I don't. He left me speechless.
I'm not in a rush to get it.
I get what you're saying.
You waiting for like a one-shotter or something?
No, I was just waiting for them to tell me
Johnson
when I have to do
Johnson
it.
has it already.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
I don't know if I would trust Johnson.
No?
Why you
not?
know he trust anything? I don't know.
That's true. I
I don't even know if I trust the one I got.
Exactly. We're all fucked up, bro. Hitting shit. Yeah, I just never asked you. It was funny. I do have a bone to pick with you guys this week, though. Last week I gave you guys a break because we had people over. We had people over our podcast. You know, we got to treat our podcast like the house. Now that the people that aren't supposed to be here aren't here anymore, I want to call you guys the fuck out.
What happened?
Remember, Claudia knows what the fuck I'm talking about. You guys, I say you guys, and the listeners too. Nobody said shit. Maybe because they're
one person.
That's true. One person did say, "Fuck you." Said that you guys let me run off and say that cotton.
Oh, okay.
That cotton came from animals.
And it doesn't.
It does not.
You guys let me run off with it. How come you didn't stop me, Keith?
You speak too fast sometimes, right?
Right. That's what I told him. I'm like, sometimes I'm not fact checking everything you're saying.
And when Berto says something, it's almost always fact. So you never just.
Clearly not.
Yeah, see? And Claudia didn't defend me, though. Claudia didn't defend me at all.
Well, the way he says it. He says it so matter of fact, right?
Yeah, both of you guys, in the episode, both of you guys just looked at me.
But he talked like matter of fact, so like he knows it.
Like you knew something was off, but you didn't say it.
We're not an educational podcast.
Yeah, that's another thing. We are not an educational podcast. This isn't fucking Sesame Street. We're not here to fucking help you spell out shit.
But yes, no, cotton does not come from animals.
Like
No,
cotton,
it
yeah,
doesn't.
I meant wool.
Well, that's
Yes.
That's what I meant. Wool.
That's
not
what
cotton.
Yeah, I got what you meant. I should have corrected you.
Yeah, you guys
I
did a bad
should
job
have.
of hooking your co-host up with facts.
My bad.
It's all right. I can see how you could, you know. So I say like a million. Claudia said I talk too much. So she said I say one too many things. I say 100 things on the episode that she can't correct me on everything. So she lets me die on that hill sometimes. Thanks, Claudia.
You're
Someone's
welcome.
listening really close, I guess. Right?
Yeah, intently.
Clearly.
They said that they were cracking up when that
That's
shit-
funny because that's the only person.
Maybe people knew and they just
They just
Or
don't.
they
maybe
just said fuck it. They were like, you're an idiot, B.
But here, no,
Or they probably just thought what we thought.
no. And here's the thing: a lot of times, if you're just talking, people tend to just go along with your thought. So they're not really like trying to check what's right and what's wrong. They're just going along with what you're.
So they're
speaking.
sheeple.
Basically, yeah.
That's true. I have seen that. You think that happens often? Where you just like somebody? I think I get what
I think
Keith's saying.
so.
Is where like you say something and it sounds like it's fact, and then the person, and then you're like, oh shit, they might be up to something here. You know?
Yeah, right? Sounds like you knew what it's talking about.
Yeah. I fucked up though. Whatever. That could be saved for everybody can crack jokes on that later on. Whatever. Fuck you guys.
One episode,
And fuck you
they're
too, the
gonna
person
go
who,
back for.
yeah, the person who pointed it out. Yeah, fuck them.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Listen intently and shit. Don't listen intently to nothing I say. So we're gonna move right along. We are gonna go cruising right into my topic of the week. It's my turn to bring a topic to the podcast. I did not have anything readily prepared. Surprise, surprise. Ah! But I think I have something now. I want to know how trustworthy you guys are. How do you guys consider yourself trustworthy? Are you guys able to hold water?
Yeah.
You would say so? You, Keith? Mm-hmm. I think I'm trustworthy too. Do you think, is there things that that you're not good at, like keeping? Because sometimes I have a terrible tendency for people to tell me things and I think everybody knows. And then I'll just say it in a room full of people. And then the person's like, whoa, like nobody knew. This happened with one of our close friends.
Okay.
It happened with one of our close friends.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
remember
again, you guys being the good friends that you guys are, you guys let me blabble on, right?
Oh my
Well,
God.
I didn't know you were going to open your mouth to say that.
Well, I mean, nobody told me I wasn't supposed to. I'm under the impression, you
Well,
know,
that's the thing. That's not our job. That was her. That was this person's job
to tell you.
to tell you, hey, listen, don't say anything.
Have you guys ever done that before? Said something you weren't supposed to say? In a room full of people? Come on, man.
Not in a
Once,
room full of
probably
bullshit.
like probably
Not
once
in a
or
room full of
twice.
people that I
Probably
know.
once or twice.
Was it big or was it something tiny and small, like a little white lie?
I don't think it was anything big. It was just one of those like, really. But
Why'd you say that?
yeah, but then we just moved on from it. But it was nothing like big.
I feel like everything you say is like, you know, like if somebody's gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're so vocal and you know what I'm saying? Like very
direct.
yeah, that it's like I feel like 9 times out of 10 somebody would feel that way anyway, even if it wasn't.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll call some shit out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll call some bullshit out. Like,
Yeah.
You're not gonna let it ride along. You, Keith?
Me, no, I don't remember. I don't, not in the.
You're a good secret keeper then.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Yeah. I have a secret now that I can't say.
About who?
But I can say it to you guys later on. I can't say it on the podcast, but I have a secret.
It's about somebody or?
About yourself.
It's about something that's going on in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I can't tell nobody yet. I can't tell certain people, the secret, but I can tell other people the secret, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for the secret. It's not nothing crazy. Like it's a nice secret. It's just I can't tell nobody, so I want to tell people. I've told my girlfriend. So
You hold secrets pretty well, though. No,
I think so for the most part. When I'm not like, you have to tell me it's a secret, right? Like I can't just be like, you can't just be like, hey, because that instance that I'm talking about, it was very like nonchalant, chill, and there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people in the room. I was like, oh, everybody knows this shit. So when you know,
and everybody didn't
when
know.
we were in a room full of people, it's just like, yeah, okay, you know.
I guess something I know I'm good at is I'm sometimes able to know what to say and what not to say regarding other people. Like for instance, something like that, I wouldn't really say anything about because it's not my place
I'm a bad
to
friend.
mention. No, I'm not saying that. It's just that it's so personal at the same time that it's like, it's none of my business. I'm not going to say, unless the person brings it up.
But you get the context I'm saying it in? It was set in a room full of people.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Like if it was really secretive, you wouldn't have said it in a room full of people. Like secrets have, you know what I'm saying? Know your audience, you know? Like if you're going to tell, a secret in a room full of 6 people, is it really a secret?
Not really.
It was technically, I feel like everyone in the room kind of knew because no?
I didn't. And I was like, oh, that sucks. You know?
Yeah, but it's happy endings, I guess.
That depends on who you ask. But we will not dabble into that because we're good friends. Damn it, we're good friends. So cool. I just wanted to know if you guys were trustworthy, or do you consider yourself trustworthy? Would you guys say you're the most trustworthy person in your group? Like in your group of friends?
To keep a secret? Or just in general?
To keep a secret. Or trustworthy in general.
Probably.
Because trustworthy can entail a bunch of things, right?
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Like, is there like, are you the most trustworthy person in your group? Or is there somebody more trustworthy?
There's probably somebody more.
Again, yeah, it's probably somebody more trustworthy.
Are you trustworthy?
But no, I'm not the most trustworthy.
I'm like a good 90%.
90%? What about you, Keith? Percentage-wise. How trustworthy are you percentage-wise?
Probably like her, 90, 95.
Oh, 90, 95. I'm like an 85% trustworthy. Only because of that. Because I have my slip-ups.
Yeah, I don't have slip-ups.
Yeah. And then also the whole, I think of like when people are going to go to jail, like, don't call me because I'm not going to pick up. Like,
Really?
Like my phone's on silent. 90%, 95% of the time. You call me, you stuck in jail forever.
Damn.
Buddy. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say
Who would we call?
that
In our group?
Mm-hmm.
Rojas.
Really?
he picks up the phone ASAP. Like that.
He does?
That dude, I've called him, second ring. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Not even my girlfriend.
He's expecting phone calls.
Oh, wow.
He's expecting phone calls.
Yeah.
But who you think?
Eddie probably.
Eddie? Claudia too. I think I would call Claudia.
Yeah, my phone is always on.
Yeah. I think I would call Claudia or Rojas. It's like Claudia's trustworthy. I think she's when in that instance, right? What were you saying again?
I was gonna say that when you said you were like 80 or 85%, I was like, I noticed that with you, if I want to get like information, I'll just talk to you and you'll say it.
Eventually it'll come out.
Like he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, so this and this happened," and I was like, "Oh."
So I'm easy to you playing me.
Like it's just, I'll start the conversation and I'll mention a specific topic that I want to like hit, and I'm just like, okay, and he'll just start talking.
All right, Claudia, I see you again, bro. I'm not gonna say shit now.
Oh my god,
nothing. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Anything else to add on to that, Keith? Nothing.
No.
Trustworthies? No. So you not 95, you 95, me 85. Terrible friend. Whatever. Fuck you guys. We're gonna move along with our topics today. We have some very good stuff lined up because Topics Man is Topics Man and he holds us down. No, Keith? No, you didn't like that?
no, it's okay. He said.
He does.
You hold us down, man. But I don't know where we'd be. I mean, doing everything else, I guess. So you hold it down for us, man. You do a good job. You're a podcast man too. Like you like podcasts. You like me. I like podcasts. You like podcasts. So, Claudia, you listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
A lot?
No.
What kind of podcast?
I like the criminal podcast type thing.
Oh, okay. So you're a creep. You?
How does that work?
Those are good, bro.
What do you mean? How does
Like,
that work?
criminal
how does it
podcast?
work? Like, is it like a story being told?
Yeah, it's a story being told.
It's
Yeah.
just like reading a book. It's like an audio book.
Basically.
That's one. See, I listen to it. It's more like news or opinions.
Like Crime Junkies, they have some like really cool ones, man. And like sometimes they have like some cool, creepy like audio of serial killers talking and shit. Like that's dope. You know, and you hear it, and then I laugh because it's funny. Well, it's not what they're saying isn't funny. It's how they sound that is funny to me. But yeah, it's the same thing, kind of like a sports. You know, like, I'm pretty sure nowadays you can listen to a podcast and know exactly what happened in a game.
Yeah, kind of,
Right.
mostly.
Yeah. So, anyway, first topic of the day today: egos. We're talking egos. You know, Beyonce, egos. You got a big ego. What she was talking about?
I don't know. What was she talking about?
It wasn't egos.
What did Kanye say it was about?
Penises. Egos. Do we have big egos in this room? Are we egotistical maniacs? Would you say? Keith, do you have a big ego? A little ego?
We all have egos, but I don't know if it's big or not.
No.
I don't think so.
You don't have a big ego?
I don't think so.
What does ego mean?
It's
Like thinking highly of yourself?
No, it's a sense of one's self-esteem and self-importance.
Self-importance.
Yes, self-importance.
So you feel like you're important.
So egocentric.
Up to a certain level, yeah. You have to feel like you're important. Otherwise, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
if you don't feel like you're important to anybody, you just like basically that's depressed in some way, isn't it somewhat?
I don't know. Do you have a big ego, Claudia? Are you a big ego?
No, the opposite of ego is like humility.
Yeah.
Humility?
Humility, yeah.
Yeah. That's the opposite of ego.
Are you egotistical? Do you have a big ego?
Honestly, I don't think so.
No. How do we?
Because the thing about ego is that it's seen in such a
Negatively.
negative light.
Can it be negatively?
However,
It can be negative and positive.
Right. It doesn't have to be negative all the time.
Name an instance where it would be positive.
Like Keith mentioned, it'll be kind of like that self-worth, that acknowledgement of, I would say like, you're good at something. And it's like, yeah, my ego is going to get higher to be able to say, listen, I'm the best at this.
Yeah, so like an ego could be like a leader, basically. Yeah, you know that you're important to somebody. You're more that it's bigger than yourself.
So leaders have big egos. Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So can you be a person of power or a person that's like a leader without having a big ego?
That's hard to do.
Like, can you be chill, laid back, humility? I don't even know what that would, how you would put that in terms. But human, like, can you be like not be egotistical? Can you have like a small ego and still be powerful?
That's hard to do. That's hard to do. Cause then that's hard to do.
But at the same time, having that big ego and being like someone in power, is that something that comes from within them or something that we as the people seeing that person in power are giving them? Do you know what I mean? Like, are we feeding that ego? It's not necessarily something they have built.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I feel like you're feeding it because you want this person to be that.
So can a person not have any, like, in order to have that, you have to have people bigging you up? So you're basically cocky.
It's not necessarily cocky, because cocky is like,
or like you're very into yourself. That's egotistical.
That is egotistical into yourself. Like you can be overboard.
But see what I'm saying? It's okay. So can it be positive though? Like can having an ego be positive? Like you guys are telling me that having an ego is always negatively looked. Well, it doesn't seem like it's a good thing to have.
Right. And because a lot of times when you do something wrong, you blame it on your ego. Which is something that I don't know why we do it, but to me it's technically like it's not you and your ego. It's the same person. You're being an asshole. So you're being an asshole. Yeah. Like, don't try and blame. And that's the thing about humans. We always try and blame something. And when we're not able to blame a human, we blame the ego. Which is you. It's you. You are the ego.
That's what I was going to say. Can you have like not, like, can you blame it on? Like, it's just, it seems like the ego is somebody you blame when ain't shit else to blame. You run out of things to blame. I don't know. I don't think I have a big ego. I think I'm pretty. What is that? What's the word?
Humility.
You have humility.
I have humility. Why do you say that? Like humil?
Humility. What is the exact definition of humility, though? Is it like humbleness?
Look it up, Keith. You have a fucking phone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like humbleness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted
like
to
being
make
humble?
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Do we know people that have big egos? Like anybody personally that we know that has big egos? Like a coworker, a boss, a friend.
I know someone who
me? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend who has a very big ego.
It's not. How so?
And the thing is that it's not negative. It's just
how
that
so?
She.
It's a girl.
To her, yeah. to her,
look at you.
She's just.
Guessing.
There is no. She never looks bad. She always looks good. She's always the best. Every picture she looks good, and I'm like, girl, have you looked at that picture? Like, come on. But it's and I'm like, okay, you know that, and it's not a negative thing. I'm like,
it can be. Depends on who's looking at it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I guess ego could also be perspective, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because,
you think you're better than
right, because somebody who's there's always that one friend who's like, yeah, you look good. Fuck yeah. Fuck those guys. Don't fall for nothing less than that. Find somebody with a bigger ego than you. Right? There's always those, right, who egg you on. And then there's people who, like Claudia's saying, like, she's like, you don't look that good in that picture. Or I don't think you look that good. Or I don't really think you're that pretty. or that cute. Or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So what was the definition? You looked it up?
Yeah, of humility, a modest or low view, or a low view of one's own importance.
Oh, so that's the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
What is the word again? Humility?
Yeah. Humbleness, basically.
Humbleness. Yeah, that's me for sure. I think a lot of people think I have a big ego though.
Why?
Because of the way I talk. It's perceived.
You project out to have a big ego?
Yeah, I project to have a big ego.
Like self-importance?
Yeah, that I'm self-important.
Like you're the important
I'm
one?
always right. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm big. You're small. That's how it goes, right, babe? Something like that. You guys have seen Matilda, right? No? Never seen Matilda?
Yeah, it's been a while though.
Oh, okay. Well, you were supposed to know that, motherfucker, in the game we played. But yeah. So egos, right? So do you, Keith, know anybody that has a big ego?
At work, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like
your
a
boss?
coworker. But it's not my boss, no.
Don't be scared. It's okay. This is an open floor for you, man.
No, it's not my boss. It's somebody I work with. It's not.
How? Why would you say their ego is big? Describe to me why their ego is big.
Because they feel like they're always have the best game plan, or they have the best ideas, and that's not necessarily true. Or they always think they can do stuff better than everybody.
So it seems like ego applies when it's the majority, right? Because it can't be like the minority of people, right? Like for instance, like you would say that he's not right all the time and what he does isn't correct. Like you would think that would be the minority of people thinking that, right? Not the majority. So does he have a big ego in that case then? If the minority of people think that and the majority of people don't, does he have a big ego then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, does the person have a big ego if only a small amount of people are saying that he has a big ego, and then the other majority of the people are saying no?
I guess you might have a point that if it goes by that numbers, like it just goes by if more people think that you're what you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I knew somebody who had a big ego. I think we all have big egos sometimes. I think it goes back to what Claudia was saying. I think we all have big egos. I personally don't think I have like a huge one, and I don't think we all do, right? It's like a small one, right? Like a small little thing every now and then of that we.
Because you can't have like a low ego, because then you'll be subject to getting put down all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you have no ego, you're like,
you don't care about yourself. You rather do for more. You rather do for other people.
A lot of disagrees. Let's see.
No, because here's the thing. It's so interesting because, for instance, even in spirituality, it's kind of like, oh, let go of your ego, in the sense of like ego is seen as such a negative thing that can potentially stop you from being genuine and humble and that whole humility that we were just talking about.
So you can't have a big ego and genuine?
A lot of times an ego in spirituality, depending on like your form of meditation and all of that, you don't necessarily need that to have self-confidence or to have that self-worth or to be able to stand up for yourself, if that makes sense. But mainly because ego is seen as the negative aspect of it. It's not really seen as like, oh, but it's just, I have self-confidence. I know my self-worth and this is why I do this. But I guess with ego, it's like you can be an asshole, you know?
Yeah, but then if somebody don't have a big ego, the humbleness is, if somebody is always humble, like that can come off as like a fake person. Like, why you always okay with everything?
That's me.
But you could be, right. I think,
why you always okay with everything?
you could be humble.
That's
and you
you
could
too.
be...
I know, but people might think I'm not...
But I'm pretty sure
I'm putting
that,
on the act or something.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like I'm sure you're able to put your foot down to something and know when something's right and something's wrong. Like, you're not going to be pushed over.
Yeah.
So that's where your ego comes in?
I'm saying like you're able to be humble, but you're also able to know your boundaries. Like, you don't necessarily have to be an egotistical person or someone who's egocentric to defend yourself.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily... No, you don't.
Yeah, in spirituality, for sure, ego is looked at as negative. I think... See, I call that something different. Like, when you reach a certain level of awareness, I guess that would be considered shedding your ego.
Yeah.
Again, but then I had to pose a different question. Is ego, what's the difference between ego and pride?
Oh, yeah.
What if you have pride in something?
You did pose that. Yeah. There is a difference, right? To being prideful and an ego.
Yeah.
Because an ego is more... Because pride would be what? Like, you're just a prideful person? I think that's culturally.
Yeah, it's cultural, and it's more of... It's not yourself. It's more of a certain,
it's a thing.
thing that you're trying to, like, a sense of importance to something,
yeah.
not yourself.
Ego is more personal.
Your ego is more personal. Pride is more. You want to accomplish something, or you're prideful, in like a movement or something, or a group of people, or your race, or something like that. Anything. It could be anything.
Is that bad?
Like I take pride in work or working or something like that.
Is being prideful a bad thing to you guys?
No.
No, I don't think so. No.
No?
It can be.
I think it can be.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be.
Like somebody can be like, I'm prideful of the Confederate flag.
Because people are prideful.
Right.
They look as a bad person, but what if they're not just a bad person? What if they just like the flag? But then again, why do you like the flag?
Right.
Prideful. Yeah, but you can be prideful to a fault, right?
You can.
Like you can be prideful to the point where you're like, yo, like you're still wrong, dude. Like
take the L.
Take the L.
Oh yeah, people who just
can't give it up. Can't give up. So it's people that don't want to lose an argument.
I know a few folks that are like that.
That don't want to lose an argument.
Yeah, okay. I know a lot of people that are very prideful.
And people don't want to lose their pride by losing the argument. They think they're losing something.
Yeah.
When they lose an argument.
Yeah. I think there's somebody in our group that's like that.
People like that. I just want to punch them in the throat.
That are prideful.
That type of prideful. When they're like, just like give it up, you know, like, just walk away.
But again, a lot of people are prideful think they can beat everybody in a fight, and that's not really the case. Until it happens.
That means their ego is big, right?
Yeah.
They get knocked out.
So can it be the same thing? Prideful.
That's a good question.
Because if you're prideful to a fault, and then you think like your pride won't let you back down, like that, right?
Yeah, that's what they say, right?
That's also can be your ego, right? Like your ego doesn't like you don't want to. That's a self thing, right?
Yeah, you don't want to lose.
And then pride's telling you, man, I'm not gonna let that happen in this room. It's gonna happen outside. Like it can't, like like you don't. I think they could be one and the same sometimes.
It can.
Are you prideful, Keith? Are you a prideful person?
Mm-hmm.
What are you prideful for? Black?
If I say no, I'll get in trouble.
Better put on a red hat at that point.
And I'm good.
People are really gonna think Keith is.
They're gonna think I'm what? A white person?
They already probably think you're white.
Cool. Mm-mm. Why?
I've met people who think you're white. They say you're more white than black.
What? Who?
Why would they say that?
Another black person.
I know
who. There's people who think you're more white than black.
Good for them.
You're black, Keith.
I know.
You look black to me.
You're black.
So are you prideful for? What are you prideful for?
Oh, I gotta think about it for a little bit.
What about you, Claudia? Prideful?
That's a deep thinking question. What am I prideful for? Well, okay, I can tell you basic things. I don't like to ask for money, and I think that's just something that has to do with my pride. It's just like, no, I don't. Even if I'm struggling, it'll take a lot for me to be able to go up to somebody and be
that's
like, "Hey,
ego.
Is it?"
Being so funny.
It's not pride.
No,
it could be considered pride.
It could be both.
That's why.
It could be your ego and your pride.
Then have it a mix.
So pride would be. Can you look up the definition for pride
again?
Yeah, prideful or pride.
I can do it.
Pride. Because you see what I'm saying? Like
I feel like it intertwines
together. Yeah, like it's.
And it could be positive, and it could be negative.
Right, because we're saying that prideful is more positive.
But it could also be a negative.
But there's more negative, a negative
connotation
to ego than there is to pride. Like when you think of pride, people think of like, yeah, they're fighting for something they truly believe, as opposed to an ego is just a selfish thing.
Selfish, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But in an instance like that, you're telling me that it's pride, but it could also just be that you're just being selfish, I guess.
I don't think not asking for money is selfish.
Yeah.
I don't think that's selfish. How can that be selfish?
Look it up. Look it up.
And I get it. It's a feeling or deep display or deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements.
See, see, your ego is holding you back on that one. Because if you're
so then, what's the negative aspect of being prideful? Because I know there's a negative aspect to it.
That being prideful, we just told you, like when you're prideful to a fault. So like if you're like, I don't want to point out black folk, but we'll do brown people.
Oh my God.
Like when brown people are very like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is how it is. And then it's the Mexican pride, and the Mexican pride in me won't let me, I don't know, have a woman who makes more money than me or some shit like that. Like that's a prideful thing, right? But it's negative because.
What if I say my Cuban pride won't let me ask people for money?
It's the negative.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You told me to mention a negative.
Okay.
A negative. How prideful would be negative.
Yeah.
That's how it could be negative.
Okay.
So I guess they intertwine a lot.
It does.
Fuck egos though.
Why?
I don't really like them. I don't really like egotistical people. Well, I'm lying. I like egotistical people sometimes. It depends. It depends. If you're being egotistical and people are just hating you for you, as opposed to like hating what you're actually doing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like they're just hating you. They're not hating what you're doing. So,
yeah, like they don't care what you're doing. They hate you as a person.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I hate people, man. Sorry. So we'll move on to the next one. Selfishness. Being selfish. Are we selfish at all? Are you selfish, Keith? Are you a selfish person?
To a fault, yeah.
Yeah, I'm selfish. I have my good old selfish moments.
Yeah. Would you say you're a lot of selfish or a little selfish?
Could there be a middle ground?
She don't want to be.
Could there be a middle ground?
She wants to be in the middle of everything. You gotta be good or bad, Claudia.
You only get two sides.
Yeah, only two sides.
No, I don't believe in two sides.
No, okay.
You can't tell them nothing now. You gotta be quiet.
Be in the middle, I guess. I don't know. Figure it out, buddy. I feel like people who want to be in the middle, because that's me sometimes, most of the time actually, I feel like those people don't want to be wrong.
Really?
Yeah. If you're in the middle, it seems like you don't want to be wrong. Because then there's no way to get you. I can't prove you wrong and I can't prove you right. So you're in the middle. I think people who like that, like I'm like that.
I just like a balance, you know?
I also like to play devil's advocate a lot, so I'll be on the bad side on purpose. But yeah. Are you selfish, Keith? A lot of selfish, little selfish, in the middle selfish?
Maybe in the middle, probably.
Don't say in the middle.
What, you want me to say a lot?
If you are, I'm a lot of selfish.
In what ways?
I'll own up to it and set my ego aside.
Look at it.
Yeah.
I got you, B.
I'll set my ego and pride aside.
Good.
Yeah.
God. In what ways?
How am I selfish?
Yeah.
I like my time. I like me time. That's the reason I have kids. I'm selfish. Very selfish.
You're selfish with your time.
Yes, I'm selfish with my time. Like it's about me, man. It's about me and what I want to do with my time. And like I think people like to say that they're not, and I think they are. I think most people are selfish a lot. Even people with kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they're waiting for them to grow up. There's no other fucking reason why, right? It's because you're selfish. You want the time. Isn't that fucked up? You want the time you lost back.
So they don't have kids.
When you sit and think about it, right? You want them to grow up because you want to make up lost time. What do you think, Keith?
That's messed up.
It is, right? But I think people are like that. I think people don't want to be selfish. I think people want to be labeled, not selfish or in between.
Yeah,
Like,
especially because selfishness a lot of time is seen
negative.
as a negative aspect, but reality is that it's not. To me, it's not negative.
No, it's not.
At all?
It can be, but
Okay,
I think
I
that
was
if you're
gonna
being
say.
selfish, like you said, like Berto is like, okay, I want to be selfish with my time. That's something that I have honestly learned, because a lot of times I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be there. Or, okay, for sure, count on me. And as I've grown older, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to make it. Or I don't want to show up. Or I don't want to go. Like, you can't always please everyone. And I think it's okay. Because
Although I
technically,
try.
you've
Is it
tried to
hard?
what?
Some out of you would say otherwise, right? That I try to please everybody. But also, I can be very selfish. I also can be very selfish with my time.
Yeah.
Or just me in general. Like, I don't even have to be my time, just me in general. It's just the way it is, man. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's so negatively looked at that people don't want to be seen as selfish. I see it all the time with the kids. Because I have a lot of friends now with the kids, with kids.
They wish they didn't have them?
They won't say that. We talked about this a long time ago, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Where I said that fucked up thing and everybody was like, damn, why'd you say that? That's fucked up.
They wish they didn't have kids?
Like, I said that sometimes people look at kids and they're like, damn, no, but I have to. And that's why, like, it's innate to say I have to.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I have to,
Really?
I mean, I imagine parents looking at their kids and just kind of being like, damn, especially when it's a hard day, trying to flick them off, trying to see how they can disappear somehow. I'm sure, I'm sure. I think that if we do it with people on our day to day, when I'm just like, ugh, get away from me, or I don't want to see you. Imagine a kid who is relying on you for basically everything because they don't know what to do or they don't know how to do things. And then you're having a bad day and you just want some you time, but you can't have that you time. Or else it's neglect.
Oh, yeah.
True. And they also use that excuse a lot, right? That they have kids. That's like the number one excuse for parents is, I have kids, I can't go do this. That's selfish in itself. Like, that's selfish in itself, I think.
Why?
Because you're using somebody else for your own selfish gain, because you can't grow a pair of balls and just say no.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's what you're saying.
Or you just don't want to do something like work related, hanging out related, going out related. Like, you just don't want to do it, but you don't want to say no. So you're being selfish. It's a selfish thing. You being like, I got kids.
Right. They use the kid as an excuse. Yeah.
As a pawn. Like, I got kids.
Or a lot of times it's, I have to speak to my whoever, partner, husband, wife.
I have to speak to my 7 baby daddies.
7, that's a lot.
Drop off the kids.
That's excessive, B. 7 is a lot.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised, Keith. It'd be 3-4 different ones at the same time. You don't think that's possible?
3, 4, that's a lot. No, that's a lot.
That's a lot? What that mean, Keith?
That's a lot.
So do you think people
So you made a conscious effort to not care of having kids, basically?
I don't think people ever really truly care while they're doing it. Or like, it's not like...
Really? So you don't think about it?
What, people having kids?
No, you don't think about having kids while you're intimate?
No.
Okay, cool. You don't... Well,
What the fuck?
Yeah. I definitely don't.
What are you talking about, Keith?
He's like, he goes, well, no. Like,
What that mean?
I mean, but no.
Why would you even, Claudia, would you?
No.
In an opposite sex relationship. Not obviously.
Yeah,
Right, no. In an
Yeah.
opposite sex relationship, I wouldn't think of, no, because I would make sure to use contraception.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, not
So
in the
you
moment.
think about having kids?
No, not in the moment, no.
In the moment, you're like, yes.
But I'm just saying, to get up to 3 baby daddies, you have to make a conscious effort to not care at some point.
Oh well, yeah. They're
at some point, you made a conscious effort to not.
That's a wild thing when you think about it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
reckless.
saying. Like that's like
And you're very
you really
fertile
made
at
a
that point.
choice to make.
Like, damn.
Very fertile. Like you made at that point you made an
That's what I
executive
said.
decision.
You made executive decision. Like if it happens, it happens. Basically, that's what you did, right?
What would you do as a guy?
As of what?
What if the girl's like, fuck it? What are you doing? What is your response to it? Saying fuck it too?
No.
You don't have to say the correct answer, Keith. You can say the wrong one if you
Oh
want.
my god. I'm not trying to be on the list.
He said no.
No?
No. What would you be? Like you'd be no too, right?
Well, I'd be like, we need to put something on. You know, right? You know who you want. Who you're like, fuck it, I wouldn't mind.
Oh wow! You said I wouldn't mind having a kid with this person. Really?
Right? Come on. No? Wouldn't you think that? That you would think like,
I get what you're saying. Like at this point, if
I don't know. I was so scared to get pregnant. I was like, wrap it up.
you were?
Wrap it. I did not want kids. I don't even know if I want kids now. Like what?
that's funny as hell. That's a lot of fucking baby daddies. You're right, man. At some point, you were like, "Fuck it." That's how I feel like when people.
I think he'd be a good dad.
But that's how I feel when it's with one. Like even if it was with one person, that's how I feel. Like if you have more than one child, I feel like at some point you were just like, "Fuck it." If you're on your third, like how many kids is it to the point where you're like, "Damn, that person just said fuck it." 3?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Damn. What did you, Claudia?
Yeah, no, 3. I think I would say 2, but I guess the pair is nice. But yeah, 3.
A pair.
The most I would do is 2 kids.
So at 3, you're like, you just said fuck it.
It was a mistake. It was not.
Oh,
planned.
was it a mistake? You just said it might happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, oops.
Is that ever a mistake?
No, I don't think so.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like
The only time is a mistake is if something bad happened.
Like a break.
yeah, obviously.
Like if something bad happened, then that's where I could see it. Other than that, though, you're just out here. That's just you made the executive decision that you did not give a fuck that night, and you were like, "Fuck it,
I'll live with it."
I'll live with the baby.
You chose to do that.
Yeah, or some people just don't know, right? Like some people might just not. Like it could be kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
well, just don't have.
Like a lack of education. Like
That's wild.
I don't remember anybody.
Do you feel like you were like in education and
sexual,
well,
like
sexual?
So in high school, I didn't learn anything, but my mom made sure.
You got the birds and the bees conversation,
and it was not about birds and bees. She was hella explicit. She was explaining it to me. She's like, "This is what you need to do," and I thank her for that. I truly do.
What's your Keith? They run it down to you how to put a condom on?
Nope.
No, I didn't learn how to.
No training at all.
You just winged it the first time.
Go off
Or
experience.
What is this?
How do you put this thing on?
Whatever.
Fuck it. Made an executive. You know, I don't know.
Nah, but it's not. Nah, no. Growing up, no.
You not even in school?
No.
I don't even remember my sexual education class. Like I don't remember having it. I don't remember like.
I don't know.
I mean, I only had it when I came here to Chicago.
Do you remember it?
Not really. But at that point, I was a junior. I knew what could happen.
I just remember seeing a bunch of penises on the projector. Like,
Great sight, right?
I mean, that's all that I saw. That's all I remember. But they didn't teach you like anything like about birth control. Like
no, they didn't teach you.
Even till this day, sometimes I hear shit and I'm like, "You're doing what to not have babies? What?"
All you gotta do is do this.
Yeah, like I was like, man, they put a chip in you, like, and we're over here worried about COVID vaccines. Like that's wild. Mm-hmm. You think it's harder for parents to have the conversation with a boy or a girl? The birds and the bees talk, by the way.
Obviously. I don't know. I guess a girl for me. Yeah, it'll be a girl.
That's what I was saying. It depends on the parent and who's the person having the talk. Like, a lot of times you'd make that assumption as a society, like, oh, the father will talk to the boy, you know, because you
what
have.
What if they're not there, present?
Yeah, what if.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, just. But if. Then the mom's going to have to do it.
But do you feel moms do that?
I don't know if all moms would do that, to be honest. They kind of just.
It's a little awkward, right?
They kind of just leave it to the boy, like, figure it out.
Yeah,
but then when you tell them to figure it out and you get mad at them, they
right, for doing something stupid.
for not figuring it out. Oh, you ain't tell me this could happen.
Yeah.
So. Or the girl, they tell them to figure it out. What if they do have that conversation and they still go out?
But the thing is that sometimes they don't even have the conversation at all. They completely just dismiss it, like avoid it completely.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to have that conversation
with your kid.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be.
Actually, I would be able to. I'd be like Claudia's mom, just straight to the point. This is what it is, G. You have to figure this shit out. And you don't, like, I just think it's better that way.
Yeah.
I don't like to sugarcoat things to begin with. Like, I already don't sugarcoat things with my nieces and stuff. So, like, I don't sugarcoat it. I treat them like they're grown. That's the problem. I treat kids like they're grown adults. Like, you got it figured out already. You should know.
No.
I do. That's how I treat them. Don't leave your kids with me. I treat them like they're already supposed to know what they're supposed to do.
But parents will get upset with you for telling them.
That's what I'm saying, stuff. Right? But then we can get mad then at that point. You can't get mad that you're afraid or whatever to expose somebody to something when you're not doing it yourself.
Well, it depends what you're exposing them to.
That's gross.
I'm just saying.
So funny.
No, because I'm thinking about, for instance, I don't know, let's say there's drugs on the table.
Yeah.
And the child is kind of like, oh, okay, this is normal. This is like
drugs.
A normal thing to, to see and to do. Personally, I don't think a child should be exposed to that. And like directly, of course, they should be aware of what is what, just for their own education,
like
but
that's
not
coke and that's heroin.
How were you guys exposed to drugs?
Growing up?
Yeah.
In the neighborhoods.
Like your parents didn't tell you about it?
My parents just told me, don't do this, don't do that.
Did they show you what it was?
Yeah.
My parents didn't. My parents didn't tell me any of that.
They just dismissed it completely.
They didn't like say don't do drugs. They talk shit about people who did drugs. That's how I knew it was bad. But they weren't like, don't do them.
Actually, now that I think about it, I remember that, this and this. Well, they did this. Don't do it, or you're gonna end up like that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When was the first time you guys were exposed to drugs?
High school.
I was.
High school?
Like, what do you mean? Like knew what it was?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you were like, oh shit, those are drugs. Like,
actually seeing it,
when I was a kid,
physically seeing it. Oh.
Like when I was a kid, like, but I knew as a kid that I couldn't do that. That's an adult thing, right?
Yep.
But they never said it was.
But there was drugs.
But they never said.
But you knew that was drugs.
But
right?
you knew
there was drugs.
Yeah.
Right. So how old would you say?
As far as I can remember, like what, 5, 6?
No, me too. About 5, 6. Probably.
Well, no, yeah, no.
Like I didn't know about like hardcore stuff, but you knew like.
So what were you exposed to, if you don't mind me asking? Just
marijuana.
Weed? Oh, okay. Like just weed.
No, as I go.
Oh, marijuana.
Oh, okay.
I
mean, it's legal now, so it's like okay.
So marijuana.
Yeah, that was the first one.
For me, it wasn't that.
Oh my God, what was it?
It was bad.
What was it?
It was the sugar booger. It was the sugar booger that I got exposed to.
Really?
That I saw, yeah.
You saw in person?
And so that was the first one. Then it was marijuana.
Wow.
Later on in my, after elementary school, so like after 6th grade, probably 7th and 8th grade, I started seeing other drugs.
See, that's the one I didn't see. And I didn't know how it was done.
Marijuana or coke?
No, the coke. I didn't know how it was done until later.
Yeah.
And And heroin, I didn't know until like movies and stuff.
Oh, I've seen heroin too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it like in person.
Heroin is honestly, I think it's one of the drugs that was more shocking for me to see someone use.
Yeah.
You saw somebody use it? See, I never seen the one use
I
it.
was
like
just
in
like-
person.
worst.
Oh
How does
shit!
That shit is
How
wild.
are you
You
in a
have to
room?
be like a maniac to want to do that.
To
drug.
want to do that to yourself.
Like, you stick yourself with a needle, bruh. No, you need a whole fucking like. It's a kit.
I see, but I never saw like in person.
The belt, you got the little sponge. You got
How
the
did you
little
guys see this in
spoon, the
person?
Lighter. You see a lot of things at Boys Town.
Yeah. I see a lot of things in general. I've seen people overdose on it, so it's bad. Like I've seen bad. I've seen the bad of drugs. I've seen people do bad coke. I've seen like not real coke.
Yo, so okay,
Boogie
wait.
coke.
Okay, so I know someone and they went to Garfield Park to some gas station to get an Advil.
Garfield Park, I bet.
It was not an Advil.
That's the wrong place to try to get
got
Advil.
tripped. Like he started to hit his girl with crutches. What are they called? Crutches. Crutches. And it was a hot mess. The police would call it was crazy. But then I was like, how did that happen out of an Advil? And he was like, well, you know, I went to Garfield Park and we stopped. That's the only place where we stopped to get.
And we're back again. So Keith was saying, what were you saying, Keith, about drugs?
Drugs like if you're known to a particular race, which drugs do you come in contact with first, or which ones do you most know about? Like me, pills is not a thing that we like ever was a big thing for us.
I was I forgot that. That it was pills.
Like pills, opioids, and stuff. That stuff.
Yeah.
That one, something that's exposed to like mushrooms and all that. That's not.
Yeah, that's
something we
not
do.
something I was exposed to.
That's not something I was exposed to.
That's like
that.
the first couple of drugs.
Oh man, I'm a bad person.
Oh my!
This is why my girlfriend always mocks me. I had no childhood. She watches Disney movies. I'm over here watching fucking Scarface.
Oh my god!
Blood in, blood out. Just wild shit. Like people getting shanked in jail and shit. But yeah. I don't. I think. I guess it depends, right? On like race.
Again,
I think so.
Again, the lower tier you are in society, the more easy you are exposed to drugs, right?
Right, but the again, some of those pills are like rich folk drugs, right?
Yeah.
Some of
And
them,
you'd be surprised.
I know I am. I am. I know the higher people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's more accessible, I think, right? More accessible with everybody than, like, I think before it used to be a thing, right? Where it was like there was white people drugs, which were considered more rich folk drugs, and then there was like poor people drugs, which were like crack and coke and weed. Like that was considered poor people drugs. I think now it's like a level, like it's leveled out.
It's leveled out.
Yeah,
You think it's leveled
Now,
out?
like somebody in the hood can get pills from
Anywhere.
anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be exposed to, you don't have to be exposed to like rich people to see those anymore. So, well, besides that little mishap, it was pretty chill episode this week. We chilled it out after a very hardcore episode last week. It's a nice little conversation we had today. But we are gonna close it out. I think. Yep. We're after the interruption and everything. It's fine though. It'll give me an easy week to kind of get through the episode this week. So we are gonna close it out. Before we do get out of here, I do want to say that we are on all streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and we are on Anchor for your ass. And we're on YouTube, so go subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. We are your podcast's favorite podcast. And we are outie.
Bye, guys.
Peace.